Welcome everybody to what is it? Episode 3 of Exit Interviews. This week we have Seahawk12man, if trainer, I believe. So yeah, dude, thank you for
Yeah,
joining
C
us.
trainer.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for
Yes.
having me on, guys.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for being here. So so what kind of caught your eye about Marvel Contest of Champions, and where did you kind of start to get your niche for it?
So I had seen a bunch of different ads for it, and some friends were talking about it about 4+ years ago. And one Fourth of July, I was just kind of like, I was just, I was just kind of, I didn't really have much to do. A lot of my family lives far away, and I was like, all right, I'll just download it and give it a shot. And then I kind of just got hooked right away. I used to play other fighting games and things like that for a while, and so it was really easy to pick up. And at the time, I had tried the DC version, and I didn't really like how that was how that worked, but it was really easy to control, and the animations were great, and I was using all my favorite characters, and it just got a lot. It just kind of went from there. It's just a ton of fun. Even now, still having fun with it.
Awesome. Um, yeah, dude. So, y- you mentioned in Zach Rossi's interview that you were a tournament player in Mortal Kombat. Is that where you kind of caught your competitiveness for MCOC?
Yeah, so I just growing up, I've always been a highly competitive person, from athletics to board games, chess, being expert level, uh, chess player and competing internationally before, and then when it came to video games and arcade games, same. I used to pick up all the different books and stuff, and I just loved competing because for me, I'm the youngest of like 4 or 5 kids basically, in my house at the time, and so I always felt like I always had to do better, and so I just loved competing in sports and games, and so for Mortal Kombat, it was tons of fun because at first I was obsessed with like the graphics and the fatalities, but then when they added like all the different the competitive elements to it, the verses and the tournament style type setups and stuff with the brackets and such, it just kind of took off, and it was just a lot of fun. I mean, those and it's kind of spilled over to MCOC. That's why you know lately I've noticed with some people, when they talk about different game modes, they talk about incursions tournaments and things like that. I'm still one of those outliers that like war. I really love alliance war, and I love I like incursions, but I just like that competitive element, and I like it just makes the game more fun in a healthy way.
Yeah. So you are in one of the top alliances in MCOC. Care to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so last month I was a month and a half ago, for almost a year, I was with Omni, and then the last month I took the last season off, and I had to deal with life and work, and then I wanted to get back into the game, and I was like, all right, I can't just sit around and do map 5 all the time anymore, and I need to start pushing myself again, and I want to get back to playing in masters bracket and start stuff like that. And then so I was looking for a good alliance, and I was looking for alliance where there was good people, and there was no bans, no cheating, none of that stuff. And uh guy hit me up for to go to this alliance called No Hope, or Nope, and they'd just finished fifth last season in masters, and or only a couple alliance, a couple bonuses away from cracking the top three, and gave me an opportunity to join them and share some insight in terms of war planning. And one thing I've noticed about being in a top tier alliance is everybody is pushing each other to be better. And and sometimes that's a it's usually a good thing. If you don't like to handle pressure, then it can be really frustrating and it can be irritating. But if you're trying to get better at the game, it's a great situation to be in, because people want to know, hey, what's better matchups, what's this, what's harder, what defenders are good for this, what offensive champions are you going to bring. There's war planning, and it makes the game, it's like, as they've said in and Ledentators and everybody else's, when they were explaining Alliance War, the problems and fixes and not fixes, it creates a game within a game. And it it really does improve your um, gameplay throughout MCOC, especially since right now content for a lot of in-game players is few and far between. If there's not much to do, you got to push yourself somewhere. And and right now it's kind of like there's incursions and then there's Alliance War for that.
Yeah. So, are you a an officer or a leader in your alliance?
Um, right now I'm not. I'm a kind of like a war advisor. So, like, during the season, I'll be helping with planning and organizing war and diversity and matchups. That way, once war starts, me and a couple of my other alliance mates will look at the map, we'll organize attack, we'll organize, setup. So when imagine, like, you come home, you open up your phone, it's like 2 or 3 o'clock, and you notice that there's already a set plan for you. You're like, hey, you're going to be on this path. These are the champions you're going to bring. These are the matchups. Are these okay with you? Do you have any questions? And so, kind of my job is to make sure that everything is as simple as possible, and we win. That's the goal. I mean, we want to win. And the best thing is, as I've even said in there, inside of the in the different chats and stuff, is that you want to have fun, and winning is fun, but also all the stuff we're doing, all the talking about it, organizing, that's also fun. Playing, I mean, we have time to play games while we're working, while we're not working. I mean, it's a pretty cool deal.
Yeah, it sounds fun. I mean, I just moved up to from a map 5 alliance to a map 6 alliance, and everybody there has been just super supportive. Like, do you need any help with your paths? Stuff like that. Is there any problems, or hey, having any problems with any fights on your paths? And they worked it out to where I was taking the right path with the champions that I have. So that's awesome that you guys are uh, pushing that high tier and still communicating like that.
Yeah, and well, the other part is, it's like, and that's how as long as I've played the game, it's one of the things I've also liked about the MCOC community is that you make friends, and then they become like your friends even in, like, the real life outside the game. You start chatting with them, and they're like asking you questions. And for me, since I do a lot of fitness stuff, people are asking me nutrition questions and food questions. And I'm asking people about, hey, I'm going to be in this area, what do you think about that? And it's just kind of really, it's kind of a really, especially as the last year when everyone's dealing with COVID and such, this has really helped a lot of people stay connected, even with all the ups and the downs, and the lagging, and the game drama, and the alliance quest failures. It's like, even with all those things, those are like minor. This game has allowed a lot of people to be creative, a lot of young people to start new YouTube channels. And your guys' podcast is awesome. It's like, you guys get people watching this, and listening to it, um and it's really exciting to see this happen. I mean, this is all come from a mobile game. Think about this. I mean, 5 years ago, if someone told you guys were going to be sitting here doing interviews on your free time, and you're going to have followers, and people are going to want to know what your opinion is, you'd probably be like, "What? Right? No, okay." So it's really
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, you're totally right about that. Speaking of which, have you done any of the monthly EQ or the side quests? And what are your thoughts on that?
I've done the monthly EQ. So for me, what I do um, is first and foremost, I do a lot of arena grinding, and so I save up my units via unit grinding, arena grinding, and because of that, on the Cavalier monthly, or the Thronebreaker event quest, after you've beat it, they have this offer where you can get the 30% boosts and all that stuff. And I wait till like the last moment to finish that chapter because I want it to be as close to the war season as possible. So those things don't expire. Because otherwise, like that you're, you like Brian Grant has said, you end up with things expiring, and you don't, nobody wants a 20% boost expiring, since sometimes people pay real money for that stuff, which I'm not going to do that, but I mean, some people do. It's
Yeah,
and so I try to space it out. So I finished the first all the chapters up to that final chapter 100%. I really like the new champions. I know there's some people that don't like the Marvel realm and things like that, but I like different. I like, different play styles, different, fighting moves, different special attacks, animations. It keeps the game fun and different. Um, I I have kind of slacked on the side quest. I mean, I've been doing the things to to go in there and do it. And everyone keeps
you've been
warning
getting the
me.
keys. Yeah,
They keep warning me. They're like, you don't want to put that off because apparently there's a there's a bunch of fights in that. So I'll probably hit that this weekend and try to clean it up. But from what I've been told from watching people, they did a really good job with it, and the rewards have been hit and miss for some people. Some people have been getting. Somebody did a path today and got 900 6-star shards. I was like, whoa, it's a
wow.
lot. I mean, I mean, I mean, for one pass through, that's like, I guess that would be like what the jackpot or the best someone could do on that. But what I've also noticed is that Kabam is really trying to uh not I mean, keep it random, but also let keep it interesting. And I know a lot of people were, like I said, were upset about the Marvel Realm characters, but different is interesting. I mean, everybody quote unquote hated Jabari Panther, and then next thing you know, um, Cam over at For Loki is doing a video and showing that she bleeds Red Hulk in like 120 hits faster than Nick Fury, and people are like, "Oh, she's the best ever." It's like, just as they say, don't judge a book by its cover. Wait until they come out, see how they play. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. That's awesome because it's a good thing I got a 6 star
Yeah, exactly right. I mean,
from the Falcon Winter Soldier bundles. Yeah. So, Jax, you got anything over there, bud?
Yeah, man. Do you play Marvel Roma Champions?
I downloaded it and I played it for 2 months, and then I just couldn't get into it because of time.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
um, I think it's the way I look at it is it's very time consuming, but it could be a lot of fun um, if they made it a little more smooth. And when I compare Marvel Realm of Champions to like some of the ones of now, I feel like it's about 5 or 6 years, in some ways even older. Like it needs to catch up. Like I feel like they should have gone bigger with it if they were going to go big, because it's so similar to a lot of other games that are like it, that the only thing that's unique about it is you have some sort of Marvel characters that you can modify and create. But it's yeah. I mean, so for me, I didn't delete the app. It's still in there. I still have it. I just I just haven't opened it back up, which I'd like to. I mean, would be fun if they made it more fun. I do have some friends that do play it on a regular basis. They like like there's a versus mode and the PvP part of it. They like some of the different modes on it. And I always see them constantly tagging like the Marvel Realm people, like, "Hey, fix this, get this going." And that makes me happy because that means that there's hope that the game will keep going and that they'll make it even better eventually.
Oh yeah, man. I think the biggest update comes out next month, and that'll add Thor as a playable character. So maybe that's an incentive to come back to the game.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, man, for sure, man. I play Emerald kind of off and on, and it's a pretty cool game. Definitely a lot. Like you said, it does feel like an older game. I definitely feel that too. I definitely got that. So you said that so you were Mortal Kombat for like as in doing professional stuff and tournament stuff like that, which is crazy. I love Mortal Kombat. Um, but what would you like to see from contests when it comes to competitive stuff?
Um, it's something if they could find a way and Marvel Contest of Champions to do a live versus mode in some way somehow. I don't I mean if they had to team up with something to, I don't know how they could do it to make it work, but that would really help bring like players into it more, because I see a lot of people that, that the ones that really like the people that really hate Alliance War for a good reason. It's stressful, and if you lose you have to live with it for 48 hours and things like that. But if they had an element to it, same thing as like speed chess when you play like on chess.com or something like that, 5-minute blitz game. If they had a way where you could do 3-on-3, you versus me, and you're like, "Hey, Seahawk, let's go, you and me." I'm like, "All right, hook up, let's go." And we were just playing. Like that would be fun, because then you would add an element to it. You could add, YouTubers could face off. You could do tournaments. You could do that would be so much fun, and it would fit right in the wheelhouse. And you could even do a thing where like you have to do dual credits. So people, if they ran out of dual credits, they'd have to use units to get them or something. So that way, Kabam, because it's Kabam, it's a company, and they have to find ways to get money or something. So they could find a way to make it work. But any kind of way in Marvel Contest of Champions that can get players to interact more is a good thing. The less interaction, and for me, I I get very bored of like Alliance Quest because it's the same fights. I like that they rotate the maps now. That makes things a lot better. But in general, it's like the same thing over and over and over again. So one of the things I'm happy about is, as I've moved battle groups over the last year and new people come and go, and then when I moved to my new alliance, No Hope, I keep going to new paths, not by me asking. They're just like, "Hey, we need you on this path," and I'm in my mind, I'm like, "All right, something new. I like it." But alliance quests can get repetitive, and sometimes in war, at least you can throw random new champions in there that people that aren't used to fighting. But in a game, a Marvel contest, I really do think if they added a player versus player, something that like Seven Deadly Sins has, or something that a lot of other games have, it would be awesome. The challenges are, it's mobile, and you would want it. Sometimes with a mobile server, it's not equipped to handle that kind of connection, so they might have to set it up so you have to do it via another app or something like that. We all know that on our smartphones, there's different apps where you can play different games with each other and stuff like that. So they might have to branch out or think outside the box or something like that. But that would be a lot of fun. Can you imagine if you're in a tournament and next thing you know, you're paired up against Metal Sonic Dude, and you're like, all right. And then, it's like on the other side of the bracket, you have like, uh, you know, Clobber and Time going against Ludden Taters or something. It's like you'd see these guys all facing off against each other. kind of like we had for the Summoner Showdown, except in uh, the Summoner Showdown, it was like one player fought the computer and the other guy watched. And then, but you notice it was kind of like a war theme. Like they were like, all right, so this guy's going to put a defender and take away your offensive champs. So it's like if you would have just had them face each other, then it would have been skill versus skill. It's uh, so.
Oh yeah, dude, I definitely see that.
I mean, can you imagine? Imagine if they set something up where you would have to face somebody versus, and they would just on your screen. This is kind of an idea I had. On your screen, it would say the player you're facing has picked their opponent, picked their champion. You pick your champion, but you guys don't know which champion the person picked.
Okay.
So imagine, so everyone's like, "Oh, I'll just pick Quake," and then so
It would
like
be like
you,
hidden cursors.
right? So then
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
you pick Quake, and the person's like, "Oh, I picked somebody that's like anti. I picked Apocalypse." It's like, so it's like you could really change how things go based on something like that, or like 2 out of 3, like two of them are shown, one of them is not shown. It's like a random wild card, 3-on-3.
Kind of like how it's shown on the arena tab.
Yep, just like that.
Yeah.
Except imagine if you were doing arena and right when you clicked on it and those 3 champions popped up, you just immediately picked 2 different ones or something like that. So
Dude, that would like tap into a whole new market of not only like Mortal Kombat fans, Marvel vs. Capcom fans, Street Fighter fans. Like, dude, that would really blow up the game if it did something like that.
it would. I mean, the thing that Kabam's got going for it is they don't have to sell the product. I mean, it's Marvel. Like, I mean, I'm wearing an Incredible Hulk shirt right now for crying out loud. It's like they don't have to sell this brand. This is not like a made up brand. This is not and I don't even really remember this, but I know about this. It's like Street Fighter, in the early 90s, nobody knew what that was. But when they had like X-Men the arcade back then, everybody knew who the X-Men were. And it's
Yeah,
so
they had
like
already been around.
it's like so for Kabam, you've got a product that everybody knows. Just get it out there so people can use it. Like,
Yeah, the one more point to what you were saying, like I had just picked up the King in Black series, and you
oh,
literally
so
can't go
good.
you can't go through one comic book without seeing Marvel Contest of Champions in the book itself or on the back cover. So you're right. They've literally sold out pretty much at this point. So
Yeah, and
I don't know.
that's an awesome series, by the way. But it's like, yeah, it's
Y-
everywhere. I mean,
Yeah, I'm in the last book.
we all have it downloaded onto our phone, but yet anytime you go to like anything, it scrolls by. You see, what are you up to? Try Marvel Contest of Champions. I'm like, I already have it. I'm good. It's down. I'm got it. Yeah, I'm good. I got it.
Yeah,
So
I'm a throne
it's
breaker.
it's like,
No.
so that's why I always like tell people, I'm like, you gotta I mean, if you want to make the game more fun and more it's like you got to get more interaction out of it, because eventually, I mean, for a while, and as long as you guys have been playing, you notice that people want more rewards, but there's more champions. So before, last year, if I gave you 20,000 6-star shards, you'd be like, all right. But now you're like, well, now I could get like 2 horrible it's like you're kind of it's not the same. The rewards aren't equaling out to be the same because there's such an oversaturation. So the only way to fix that is to create another game mode that doesn't hurt, like doesn't make the player base so feel excluded as much. If you created that versus system, or like that more interactions active system, people would feel like, hey, you know what? I don't have the best champions, but I have like 3 really good ones, and I can take those 3 and I can beat anybody else. And somebody else could, even some giant whale spender out there, as you guys know, and some of you, if you're map 6, map 7, you might see some guy with crazy 13-6 prestige, yet he plays horrible. Like he's a terrible player, and we all wonder how he came about that giant prestige. But at the same time, the guy's got all the keys to the castle in a sense. He's got all the best champions, got all this. But in a versus mode, somebody that is skill based can completely just smash that guy, and it would make the game competitive in a different way. You could create cool titles and fun things where people can be like, "Oh yeah, I've got this because I'm the best at versus mode," or something like that.
Or even then, I mean, if you're having a hard time fighting a champion, you could ask your buddy who has that champion, "Hey, why don't you help me fight this guy a couple times so I can get a good idea of what I'm going against, or something like that."
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine? I mean, not just. I mean, you enter an arena with Apocalypse, or you enter the arena with. Gonna say you enter the arena with Luke Cage, and you're like, "All right, MSD, show me how you do that." No, then you're like, well, "This is not going to end well." No, it's like, but allowing players to interact better would be huge. Also, one other suggestion that I think would really help. I think that's a little late now, but like the way they have it set up for people to communicate in incursions and different things, and Kabam's mobile communication setup is really not that good. And so if they could launch a platform that's similar to Line or Discord or WhatsApp or something where they could include all of the things that they have about MCOC, it would really help because I mean the the different chat abilities inside of the game are, as we all know, are terrible, and they're slow and they're laggy, and it's it's frustrating. How I mean, I can't remember how many times I've gone into when it used to be dungeons, now it's incursions, and you try to communicate, and you would just say, "Hold on, jump online, let's chat there, or jump on Discord. What are you planning?" And then you just start talking it out because you can't communicate in their own game chat, and
Yeah.
that's something that's really frustrating. I think about uh, that incursions in terms of we're just their game setup right now is their ability to communicate player on player.
Okay. So do you use Discord or Line?
I use both. I used to use Discord. First, I used to use Line, um, and then I switched to Discord when I joined Omni, and I found Discord really easy to use. Different people would stream movies and games, and you could share videos, and uh, you could do kind of what we're doing right now. You can set up chats and talks, and for like war stuff, you can share Excel sheets easier. Um, I found that Line is a lot more simpler, so it's a lot easier for a lot more people to navigate. So I'm using Line again for my current alliance that I'm in right now. We use it, and it's for me. It's like, all right, okay, I got to remember how do I send files again. It's like just reminding myself how to use it all again. But yeah, I think they're both great, and I actually have some clients that told me that they use Line to talk to their family across the world, and I was like, oh, for some reason I only thought it was a gaming app, but they're like, no, it's a communicational app. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. It's not just MCOC.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Right.
cool.
Cool. So what content do you have left to complete in game? Have you done all of your paths in Abyss?
I've finished Abyss 100%. Um, I've done. I mean, I'm gonna finish the last variant this weekend. Um, the only thing I haven't finished, I haven't explored Act 6 100%. I still have the last chapter, a couple paths in the last chapter, and Act 7 because while I was with Omni, I was in such overflow from when you do, map 7 nonstop and you get all these crystals, you get so much material, you just it just stacks up. Like even if you're getting constant champions all the time, um, which and then I set myself up slightly for that because I went hard, really hard in December on the feature, and I mean really hard. I went big time hard for it, and it set me up for failure because I didn't get what I needed. So then I had all these catalysts ready to rank up certain champions that I didn't get, and so that kind of set me back. So I just basically Act 6, a little bit of Act 6, a little bit of Act 7 to 100% that, and then in the game, I really would like that title for finishing number one in the featured arena. Um, as I've mentioned at the beginning of the show, I really that's how I get my units. I really like arena grinding, and that along with Alliance War, that's something that achieving that title is like um, it's kind of like a show of mental endurance and um, like serious toughness. Like anyone that's ever arena grinded for a champion, I know they've increased it to top 300, but even those guys, it's like, and been in the top 5 before. It's once you break 100 million points, you you start seeing things. Stars start appearing in front of your eyes, and it gets really kind of foggy. So I'd like to win one of those one time. Like that would be pretty cool. I'd be really happy about that. Um, Other than that, I really do like the team aspect stuff more. So
Okay.
for me, I really would like to finish Masters again. Not just Masters. It'd be great if we could crack the top 3. It'd be great to be part of that and be able to assist with that. Um, in terms of player rank ups, I still someday would like to pull Apocalypse or Mortal Hulk. Those would be great. And when I say I went hard for that feature, guys, I had 38 temps at a 6-star champion. 38. If you do the math, that's a lot of 6-star shards.
Uh,
38.
which
And
champion?
I wanted on the last feature, I really, really wanted Immortal Hulk and Apocalypse.
Okay.
Really bad. Like I saved starting since I finished the Abyss, I saved all of my 6-star shards last, last starting at the end of June of last June because it was like, oh, um, I didn't like the feature, and I was like, I'll see what happens. And then when I saw in August that Professor X and Apocalypse were coming, I was like, oh, I want to get in that 6-star feature. I want to go for it. And then, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Mortal Hulk, and is like, oh man, I really want this. And I pulled like Coal Obsidian 6 times. I pulled Wasp
Uh,
7 times. I pulled, I Professor X once. I had already duped a 6-star Ghost twice. She's now Sig 120. And I
wow.
know a lot of people would be excited about that, but when you're targeting specific champions, it literally was, it was pretty frustrating. But that's why I slowed down on the content so I could finish all that stuff up. But over the next month, my plan is to finish all the rest of the content. So then I'm caught up on everything. Hopefully in time by I'm guessing the next chapter will be out into June. What'd you think? June. See, it's May's
they
corner.
when did they release the beta for it?
They released it. I think they released it at the end of last month.
Okay, so it'll probably take like 2 months or something like that. Is I think is what it took the last one. It was like 2 months after the beta was over. They released it,
Yeah, it's
but yeah. So what do you think the most difficult content out there is?
I think the most difficult content out there in terms of it for a incoming player, and then like, and at the time, I really still think Variant One, when it first came out, was one of the hardest pieces of content that came out. Now, back in the day, was Labyrinth of Legends when it first came out was really hard because, as some people know, Labyrinth of Legends, most people had 4 stars. There was only like what, 12, 15, 16 5 stars. And if you got Rocket Raccoon, I mean, and I know somebody that actually did a lot, the one pass with a 5 star rank for Rocket Raccoon in like a lot of units. But I mean, like that was really hard. However, you guys, and some people will say, no way, Abyss is harder than Labyrinth of Legends. I'll say you won't see people with 2 stars beating Red Hulk. I haven't seen it.
No,
No, I
I
mean
haven't seen it.
you just won't see it, and it's Labyrinth. Labyrinth's actually trickier um, than Abyss for the different nodes. So I think at the times, Labyrinth was hard, and then I would go Variant One. Now Variant One is now not as hard. It's just annoying because there's champs that can just cheese it and crush it and get through it really easy. No big deal. But a lot of people just pass it up because of the difficulty for newer players, and the rewards are. I think the rewards need to be updated on Variant One, um, and I really do think everyone should do it. Like people that are new that just say, "Oh, it's hard. I don't want to do it." I'm like, "No, you should do it. Not just." It's like you really should because it actually helps you with a lot of these annoying interactions that you're going to see in Abyss. You're going to see them in Act 6, Act 7, Book 2, even Act 5. If these people haven't done Act 5, you're going to see these nodes. You're going to fight these champions that have fun and non-interactive damage. And so Variant One really does hone a lot of skills. It is very champion specific. However, there's been so many people that have done really good tutorials for it. You really don't have to have one specific champion. You can do it with a lot of champions now.
Yeah. Okay. So if there was a piece of content that you enjoyed that you wanted to bring back, what would it be?
Mm, let's see. If there was a piece of content, the Moon Knight variant. When I was talking with Zach, uh, that was probably one of my favorite variants, and I was hoping that this next variant was going to have something like that. And what I kind of foresee, I was talking on um, my buddy Apocalypse, and I was talking with G Kelly, and we were talking about the new variant and how I thought it was. They thought one thought it was too easy, one thought it was just right, and I said, in-game players would really like something that was difficult yet challenged your roster and your skill. So not just like, it wouldn't just be a cash grab. So it'd be like you're using your 2 and 3 star champions, but you have to have, skills, and the nodes change, but then the bosses would be harder and you would get better rewards. And some people feel like that would exclude a lot of players. They're like, well, a lot of players can't complete that. And my response to that is it's permanent content. If you're going to keep playing the game, your skills can improve. If you're like, well, I don't know how to use Cosmic Ghost Rider, and I'm like, well, we have our wonderful buddy Slayer of Gods over there. You just follow his channel for 5 minutes and you become pretty decent at using him. It's There's a lot of avenues to get people better. And so giving us harder content that involves more roster, that will I think that would make it a little more fun for a piece of content that's going to stay. And I have a feeling that Kabam might be doing something like that soon because um, they've changed the rule starting in May where you can't sell your champions. Um, and so I'm assuming that they're going to do some content that requires you to use these champions. Because the only other reason why I think they would add something like that is because people that were in the end game would sell their champions, their 3 and their 4-star champions. So when they pulled them so frequently, they would have people for the level up event because it's expensive to level people up. But if you get new champions, it's easier to do it. So
For sure. Jax, you got anything else over there?
Yeah, man. Um, so we are you keeping up with the MCU?
huh?
Are you keeping up with the MCU? We have Falcon and Winter Soldier. Is that
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm that show is that show's awesome. I'm actually I mean are we giving away spoilers if we're saying anything about that show though?
I wouldn't do this week's episode.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Okay,
can talk
and
about
coming
last week's
from
episode.
last week's episode, I really feel I still feel kind of bad for James. I just forgot his last name.
You talking about Bucky?
No,
Bucky.
The new Cap.
Oh, Joaquin. Oh,
Walker.
No, John Walker.
Okay,
John
yeah.
Walker.
Yeah, John Walker.
I feel bad for John Walker. Because here's some things that we've come to see about John Walker is he's a military. He's an ex special forces military vet. Clearly, he suffers from post traumatic stress, PTSD. Like, at first we all thought like, maybe he's got like some super stuff, but he was really just, like a guy, right? But you could already tell he was so edgy because something, as Bucky said in one of the episodes, something's not right with that guy. And I think he suffers from PTSD. And my dad is Army guy, and I've known a lot of other military guys before, and so like I feel bad for him because he's done with the military. They want to make him Captain America. There's all that responsibility on top of it, and then now all this stuff is happening with him, and so even though I feel like he means to be a good, like he's very much a what do you call it? That guy that's like an anti-hero in a sense. I don't think he's an evil. He's not like he's no Red Skull. He doesn't want to murder everybody. He's kind of like Wolverine
Seems
in
to
the
be
sense he's
doing
like,
this
well,
right. Yeah.
if you die, you die. Whoops. It's like, but clearly, if you saw last week's episode, that was, that wasn't, premeditated by any means. It was heat of the moment, and not saying it was right, and I'm not saying anybody should do that when they're upset. I'm just saying we could understand why he did what he did in a sense. But yeah, it's I really like what the MCU and Marvel has done with the shows. The Scarlet Witch, Vision. I'm excited for Loki and Luke Wilson, Owen Wilson. I mean, that looks really funny.
Yes.
And it's like
that looks so good.
They're setting us up big time. And when you look at the different cast of things coming up, I mean, like this just looks like it's going to get better and better. I mean, I know that Fox is pushing back titles. They pushed back Venom recently, and they pushed back Mobius. It's like, when's Morbius supposed to even come out? Are they even going to let that thing come out anymore? I mean, I actually want to see it. It's like I want to see this
January of 2022.
It's like, yeah, they're like, they keep pushing it back further and further. I'm like, look, it's like the only show that I'm kind of annoyed that I really actually don't want to see. I really don't want to see the Black Widow movie now. Like, they had a chance to bring it out, but they keep pushing it back because they want it in theaters, but they want everyone to go see it. But at the same time, I'm like, it's kind of losing its luster now. I mean, unless there's something in it that ties into future MCU content,
See,
you know.
the thing is, there is something that ties in, but I can't explain it because we haven't talked about this week's episode yet. So,
Ah,
um,
yeah, that's true.
there's definitely something that ties in, and if you're stay watching Falcon and Winter Soldier for sure because the Black Widow movie is definitely gonna have something in it that ties it all in, I believe. Um, yeah, JX, do you have anything else over there?
Yeah. Yeah, the
I
Black
see people.
Widow movie specifically is definitely going to tie in, like, not only that cameo, but as well as obviously the future. What?
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. I know exactly what you guys are talking about now.
Yeah,
Yep.
man.
I,
Yes.
I
Oh,
I'm reading some of these questions in here on in the interview chat, and um, people are really want to know what I do with my hair.
Let them know, dude.
You
Let them know.
know, I condition my hair at least 3 to 4 times a week. I don't actually wash my hair. It's an ethnic thing. It's uh I do condition it a lot. I use argan oil. I use coconut oil. I love salt water. I love to swim. So my hair's it's just a lot of hair. It's everywhere. Helps with hair flips and you know, you name it. It does it all. Trying to say,
Yeah,
but
you're like a miniature Troy Polamalu over there.
yeah, I had actually when he was when he was roaming the sidelines, I used to have people come up to me and call me Troy all the time, and I was like, "What? Just because?" And it's like you're saying we all look alike? Is that what you're saying? And it was just, it was fun. I mean, it's I've just since high school, I've actually starting in high school, I regrew my hair out, and I've just always had my hair long. It's just it's just kind of it's just always been a lot of hair, and for a while I was always telling people I'd be like, oh, I'll keep my hair long until I start going bald, and then I got to my 30s and I was like, not going bald, so when I get bored I'll just shave my head, which I'm still not bored with it. It does get in the way though from time to time.
Yeah. So is there anything new that you're going to be working on in the future of your MCOC content career?
Yeah, actually, I was listening to you guys, and then also doing what I do for health. I do uh, sports nutrition, fitness, workouts, life coaching, and things like that for a living. I've been asked by multiple people to do kind of something similar to what you guys are doing with like a podcast. Um, I've
Okay.
I've taped about like 6 of them. I just never hit the send button. As you guys know, it's like you're like that's a big commitment. Once you hit that button, it's out there. So I was thinking about doing something like that because what I've found is um, on the line chat or on the Twitter and different things like that. I I like helping people. I want people to enjoy the game and have fun. So, one of the things that I found is a lot of people ask me questions. And if I don't have the answers, which a lot of times I don't, I try to help people find the answers. Like I message other people. I know people that are really, really, really good at the game. And I just say, hey, you specialize with this guy. What do you do? And then I try to help. That's kind of that's kind of like my thing. I'm like a people person, so I like to interact. So I thought about doing a podcast that was kind of more generalized because sometimes people are asking me food, nutrition advice, workout tips, fat loss, muscle gain, and then sometimes people are asking about games or they're asking me about how many comic books I have. It's like it's a bunch of topics. So probably next thing I would do for personal like gaming life is maybe some kind of podcast of some sort. Um, that would be I think that would be the next fun thing, especially since it's something that you don't have to do every single day to have people still interact with you and have fun with it.
Yeah. like we were talking about earlier, me and JX, we meet once a week and we just hang out for an hour and talk to random, just not random people, but just people around the MCOC community, and it's a great time, dude. We have a good time doing it. Um, JX, you got anything else over there, bud?
What's one character you'd add to the game?
One character I'd add to the game if I could add one character. Whew, let's see. It's let's see. A mutant popped into my head, but then immediately I was like, wait, I don't want to see another mutant pop up for a long time.
What?
I'm so burnt out on mutants. They're good. I love mutants. I'm just in the game. It's. I mean, here's what I small. If there's like three, borderline four good tech champions, there's like 15 to 20 amazing mutant champions. Um, I guess if I were to bring in a champion, I would. There's a champion called. If there was, I'll do two. I'll do a villain and a hero. There is a champion that named Quasar,
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
and
Okay.
he doesn't get a lot of love, but he was a pretty cool champion, and he was a noble guy, and he was um Quasar would be a lot of fun. And then for a villain, the Absorbing Man would be pretty dope. And if he had some like kind of power structure similar to Rogue, except like he stole buffs just from hitting you or something like that, and he did different mechanics, I could just see him being pretty cool character. They could really do some fun things. Especially, I mean, he carries around like the ball and chain that when he was in prison, and it's. I mean, they could do some pretty cool things with it.
Speaking of that ball and chain, if you go back to the Modoc motion comic, the first one, you can actually see that ball and chain in that comic book. It's in the collector's vault of unused champions and artifacts.
In which one?
The Modoc Mo Problems motion comic from 2016.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to look that up now.
Yeah, man. I can post a pic in a second.
Because I was like, wow, like I think the Absorbing Man would be really cool. I mean, there's some other ones like in our chat that's going on. Fire recommended Kitty Pryde. Like she'd be pretty fun.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I think she's coming this
there's
year.
Warpath would be great. I'd love to see Warpath. Um, it would be fun to see someone like Warpath in there. Um, I've
Yeah.
been I've been telling people for a while I'd like to see Lockjaw and Locky in there. Something about a big dog with and a little dragon character. I mean,
Yeah, Kitty Pride and Lockheed would be pretty dope.
Yeah, Kabam Gabe, I think he responded to someone talking about it, and he said, "Dude, Lockheed is definitely going to be a part of Kitty Pryde's kit once he becomes playable." He said that a couple years ago.
Well, if you think about it, like they added the Silver Centurion with his little robots, that could be like the introduction to how they would introduce Lockheed, I guess. I mean, how they would design her, right?
Yeah.
yep.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think of some. I saw uh, if any of you guys were reading you're reading the King of Black, but um, Black Silver Surfer would be pretty sick.
Which one would you do? There's kind of like two right now, since there's
Yeah.
one from the CGR timeline, and then there's the regular one in our timeline. The one with Mjolnir.
Hmm?
So in the CGR one, the Obsidian Surfer, the Fallen one, he has Mjolnir, and he's pretty badass.
Yes, that would be the one you would want.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when you follow his timeline in that one, it's like basically characters in the game that you want to bring. I think you want to bring that keep the characters, keep the players having fun. And and as we talked about before earlier, the reason why I wanted Immortal Hulk is when I saw his animations and how his playstyle was, I was like, dude, this guy is fun. And then every single person that's played Immortal Hulk from 4-star up, YouTuber, anybody in your alliance, this was saying, oh, he can do this, but he's a lot of fun. It's like they always come back and say verbatim, he's a lot of fun to play. And guess what? You play games to have fun. And so when I sit there, on my phone or I go somewhere and I see somebody sitting down and playing Immortal Hulk and they're like crushing like Metal Sonic dude destroyed Realm, Wolverine in 60 seconds. And the thing was when you're watching it, you're like, dude, that looks like a lot of fun. Like, light, mediums, special 2, special 1, stun, reverse healing, win. It's like, wow. All right. And then people say that's not very practical. I go, did you have fun? If you had fun, then I'll I'll tell you right now, Cole Obsidian. I don't care how hard he hits. He's really boring. Not very fun to play.
Yeah.
It's just, if I have to wait 3
So,
fights for him to
what
be
other
good.
characters are not? Sorry.
Huh?
What other characters are not so fun to play?
Characters that I think these characters that are in desperate need of an overhaul in like the most important way. Thinking about being in the arena and saying, I hate this guy. I hate this guy. Why do I have this guy? I always forget his name because he's it's our mystic champion that likes to drink, and Diablo is
Yeah.
is really 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 terrible. And also Karnak in the arena. Like anytime I end up in arena and I'm down to like Diablo, Karnak, and Iron Fist, I'm always like, all right, can I pair them with like a 6-star so I don't get a death match? Like they're just because even I mean, their PI is so low on some of these. So as some of the players that don't do arena that much may not understand is that if you have champions with low PI, sometimes you can trigger death matches, which are really hard. Even if you're 5 stars or like rank 2, sometimes even rank 3, you can still trigger these death matches if your PI is really low. So if I take older champions like Iron Fist, Karnak, and I'll use Crossbones before they revamped him. Okay. I most of the time, or OG Captain America, or Captain America Civil War. Any of those, or not Civil War, Captain America World War II. If you threw those guys on a team and you said all those champions are 5-star rank 2, and let's say your arena streak is at like 96, you have a high probability of getting a death match, which means your opponent's going to have all 6 stars rank 3, which sucks. Now it's not just an arena fight. It's like you have to play perfect because if you mess up one time, you die. So I would say those Diablo is horrible, and Iron Fist and Karnak, their damage and utility is really really bad, and so those 3 or 4 are on the top of my list of really not fun champions to play ever. There is Cam has done some spotlights where there is a cool synergy with Iron Fist that you can do a really cool you can do a armor break stun chain, but it's slightly bugged. Not that this interview is going to change that, but it's slightly bugged, so do it nonstop. But if it's just his kit pre 12.0, I used to like Iron Fist. He could actually put people in the negative with his armor breaks. And then they did what they did to him, and now, now yeah, he's the guy should gain some fury or some precision on top of his special attacks or something, so he could be the immortal Iron Fist or be Iron Fist.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I guess this kind of segues, obviously, him being a chi users. I don't know if you saw the news about the League Champions coming out next month.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
well,
saw. I saw. I saw the leak possibilities, and I read that we were originally supposed to have the movie coming out this May originally. So Shang-Chi, I have some of his old comics. I mean, I wasn't alive back then, but I just used to collect comics, and he's pretty cool. I think he'll have a really some really really cool synergies. And with him coming, I wouldn't be surprised if later this year we also ended up with like the Mandarin, some more characters like that. Um, I do understand that negative, the uh, is it Mr. Negative or is it Negative Man or
Mr. Yeah, Mr. Negative.
Mr. Negative? Yes, he's more of a Spider-Man villain from what I remember.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
but he does some pretty cool things like with teleporting and going through things. So I wonder if he'll either be a mystic or a science champion. Um, Shang-Chi, I definitely think will probably be skill.
yeah. I think if it when it comes to when mystic characters are mystic, it's if they do mystic abilities, like obviously Stagger, one of those. I don't see either of those characters doing stuff like that. I mean, we do have Iron Fist as a mystic, so that's interesting.
Well, because his attacks can nullify certain things sometimes.
Yeah, so I think that's when it comes to it.
sometimes. Sometimes. It's not very consistent, but it can happen sometimes. Um, no, it would be. I'm excited. I'm always excited when, especially if he's Shang-Chi's a skill, because I really think that class needs a little more love. Um, and then again, as some of my friends that don't even play the game, when I bring that up, they're like, "Well, I mean, if this was real Marvel World, skill would still not be as good as any of the other classes because I mean," and I go, "That's true, but it's a game and it's a mobile game, and like Stan Lee said, the winner is whoever the writer wants to win. Doesn't matter."
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
if I'm
Exactly.
using OG Black Widow and I'm facing an Immortal Hulk, I in the
Guess who's
game have
gonna
class
win?
advantage and I will win. So that's just how that goes.
Yep.
And so that's
That's
why
awesome.
I tell people not don't step on my dreams. I can hope for new 5 stars. I mean, I love Hitmonkey. Hitmonkey's cool. He's a monkey, you know?
Yeah. So, who's your most sought after champion?
My most sought after champion is a 6-star Immortal Hulk.
You can have mine.
Okay.
If I got a 6-star Immortal Hulk, I wouldn't even wait for the dupe. I just awaken him. I awaken him and find a way to take him to 3. I mean, my profile picture in the game is the Immortal Hulk. I just That's my guy. That's my I mean, I like the original Hulk more, but in terms of Marvel contest, I'm not no, that's not happening. I'll stick with the one that's that's now and fresh, which is the Immortal one. I'd say he's my most sought after. I mean, I really did want Apocalypse, but I've gotten really good with Professor X, and unpopular opinion, I actually like Professor X more than Apocalypse now. Um, but that's just because he does way more damage. Way more damage.
Uh, okay. All right.
Like a
I'm not.
lot.
I'm not gonna. I don't know what Professor X does because I just pulled him as a 5 star not that long ago. But I do have a rank 2 6 star APOC, and he puts out some damage too. Like,
I'm just
yeah,
I if you look at like last week when you had MSD on, you look at some of these other guys' videos on it. Like I I don't get to bring him to Alliance War much because of matchups and stuff. And right now I'm full of suicides for off season. But I mean, if you put a mutant booster on him, there's a video. I think Derek put it on his YouTube using 150% mutant boost, and he threw 6 specials in a row.
6 specials? Special
Spec
ones?
no special two. It was like it went like
Oh,
special three, special three, special two, special two, special two, special two,
wow. Oh my
and
god.
it was like I was like, and I like commented on it. I go, make sure you don't let anybody know that he does this, because remember, he's not very good. Everyone wants the other guy.
Yeah,
And it's
okay.
the thing is like you watch the damage numbers. He does so much damage. The problem with Professor X is he does require a lot of skill. Like, you have to understand spacing and timing and being able to uh, work on his prowess charges and his cerebral charges and things like that. But when you get him down, I mean, there's tons of content of him soloing multiple Abyss champions. I mean, it's crazy when you watch him do what he does. You're like, oh, dang. I mean, I took my 6-star Professor X to rank 3 unawakened. He doesn't even really need it. It's nice. Like, it's nice to have his awakened ability, but he doesn't need it. And um he's just a ton of fun. Like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so, have you pulled anybody recently that's worth bragging about?
Let's see. Uh on I mean, I pulled Angela again. That was pretty cool.
Oh,
I mean,
alright.
as a 6-star, I was pretty happy with her. Oh yeah, actually, after I moved into my new alliance, uh, a bunch of friends were like telling me that I should use some of my units to get the feature, and I was like, no, these I'm gonna get a bunch of 3-stars. And they're like, no, you got to do it. Your new alliance, you got some good luck, maybe. And I was like, uh, it's like 1,500 units, guys. And they're like, it's not that much. And I go, you guys buy these things, I don't. And they're like, come on. So I was like, all right. So peer pressure led to me not buying, grabbing 5 shots at the featured champion. And I was still hoping for Odin. I was hoping for 6-star Odin. Um, and I got 6-star Jabari Panther.
Nice.
I was
Alright.
I was like, at the time, because I was focusing on the earlier, Cavalier and stuff like that. I don't know much about her, but then I started watching some of these guys' videos. I'm like, dang, she can put out the bleeds. Looks good. I mean, she looks like uh she looks based on the gameplay I've seen, is a more intense Killmonger. It's like, with those bleeds, like some of those bleeds, um, uh, our our friend over at For Loki Cam, he does those series where he does, like, how good is this skill champion? How good is this mutant champion? And he put her through some tests, and he keeps track of. He's very methodical like that. He keeps track of, like, the times, like, are they suicide friendly? Did I die because of recoil? All that stuff. He runs full suicides. And he even
Yeah.
said with Jabari, he goes, she's not very suicide friendly, but she didn't die because of recoil. And he broke his own record in terms of skill champions taking down Labyrinth of Legends Red Hulk. So she
Okay.
outbled Nick Fury.
Is that,
So
was that a 5-star or a 6-star?
that was a 5-star awakened,
Okay.
which I was like, wow. So I mean, I was like, all right, I got to invest some time, and
Was that Max Sig too?
I'm not sure if it was Max Sig, because
Okay.
I haven't read up on her abilities too much, but I know that he's part of the content creator program, so he
Right.
can he can
So
do
you
all
can
that
do
fun
all
stuff.
that, yeah.
But he likes to use the 5 stars because they're more, it's more realistic that somebody's going to get a 5-star. Well, oh, by the way, one on the side back from earlier in the show, if there's one thing I would change, I would add a 6-star featured arena. Like, I'm all on the same. I was on this train before Brian Grant said anything. It frustrates me to no end that the only way you get a 6 star is chance. It's like you should let us earn it. Like, let me earn that 6 star champion. But that's a different topic. That's just a little frustration
Okay.
speaking.
So, what could you see happen with a 6 star featured? What champions would you limit it to? Would you just do 5 and 6? And what kind of points would you be putting up?
I would say that you would limit to 5 and 6 stars. Um, and I can imagine, if you eliminate 4 stars, I think the point total would go down somewhat. But I would see that, for certain champions, I could see that like 80, 85 would be probably the cutoff. I would guess that it would go up because,
Yeah.
um, unfortunately, there are still people that use a lot of different other means to get champions like this. So, um, the other thing is, by adding a 6 star featured arena, you might get some of these players that don't necessarily grind arena back interested in grinding arena if they knew they could get a 6 star champion. I mean, if there is a champion that you really wanted, I mean, our buddy right now is in an interview chat, Slayer. If he knew that he could get a 6 star Cosmic Ghost Rider in the arena, guess what he's doing? He's doing the featured arena. If I said,
Okay.
"You get him," see, he said, "I grind arena forever." It's like, but right now
Yeah.
it's 5 stars, and like Brian Grant said in one of his things, he goes, "What's a 5 star?" I mean, and everybody like in my alliance right now, it's like 5 stars are cool. I mean, they're fun, but what's it? I mean, how's it supposed to? I mean, it helps in some senses when we do take on war content for offense, but when you're in platinum 3 or higher and you start seeing 5 star defenders, I tell you, every single person is like, oh, finally a 5 star defender. It's not like, oh no, it's that's literally what happens. And so it give us an opportunity to get the 6 star champions through our own tenacity, our own time, our own energy. Like, Slayer was saying, he's like, I wouldn't sleep for 3 straight days. I could literally see him drinking like an energy drink, and just he'd be like, hey, he'd be like, because he's got the crazy deep voice. He'd be like, all right, everybody, I'm streaming. If I don't talk to you, then I don't talk to you. Like, he would just like literally do that. I mean, he would literally. I mean, he would do it nonstop. And the thing is, the game should let him do that and reward him with a 6 star Cosmic Ghost Rider. You know,
Yeah,
um,
for sure.
it's it's because I do have a feeling that if they keep on not doing, somebody brought up also that the idea of 6 star dual class crystals. I think Kabam's waiting until, like, everything is a little more diluted in terms of the chances and probabilities of getting certain champions before they do that. So I think they're looking for like a sweet number. Like, once there's like 28 in each class, they'll do something like that because they want to make sure that they keep the chances low. So
Yeah. So I was talking to when we talked to MSD, he was saying by the time Act 7 rolls around, we'll start seeing by the time the end of Act 7 rolls around, we'll probably start seeing more rank 4 6 stars. Do you think that then we'll start seeing change for the 6 star arena somewhere around there maybe?
I would think so, because as soon as players get, as soon as the um, top 100 alliances start having a bunch of, uh, 6-4, you know, 6 star champions, the importance of a 5 star champion goes Like people, I mean, if they require, I mean, nobody's gonna rank any of those champions up. Like you start to devalue those champions, and I think Kabam realizes that, and that's why they put such a high number to take a champion to the next rank, um, because they realize that once they do that, you're widening the gap even farther from somebody starting out to not, like, when I first started out, it was you beat the maestro and you felt you beat the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I still tell people, like, the most for me at the time, some of the most annoying content ever was doing all of those paths in Act 4. There's so many paths in Act 4. And like a couple of those things, there's like 20 different things. And I just remember being like, this is never going to end. And then you get tired and then you click on the wrong way and you're like, oh, this sucks. So I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
but like if you were starting out new to this game and you have to go through all that, and then, the it's like Brian Grant went through everything one time, in a week. He did everything, did one lap. But if you were trying to 100% all the content in story mode, I wonder how long it would take you to do it. If you started like,
Well,
it would probably
you
take
haven't even
you.
done it all yet.
No, I know, and that's because I stopped. Like part of me is like, maybe that could be my thing. I just started a YouTube channel and be like, hey, everybody, I'm starting a brand new account today. We're gonna start and we're gonna do 100% story mode, fast as possible. Let's see how
Well,
fast I can do it.
there you go.
And I
It's a
think I would.
beginner guide.
Yeah, a beginner guide. And then I probably complain half the time and be like, oh, this node. Oh, well, and
When am I going to get a 3-star?
well, I mean, people would laugh because like I watch me get like a 3-star like Gilly 2099 or a 3-star like Aegon. I'd be like, all right, guys, I'm just gonna clear everything. People are like, didn't you get a 5-star? I'm like, not even opening it. I'm good. It's Aegon for
Well,
everything.
you know what's funny is I actually got my little one of my little brothers to start playing, and like within the first week he pulled a 4-star hood, and I sent him to one of the videos on YouTube. It was unofficial Kabam Mike has a pretty good hood breakdown video, and I sent him there, and he was pretty much done with Act 3 the next day. I was like, oh my god, dude, like chill, like okay. So I mean, just right out of a premium hero crystal, you can get a 4-star. I mean, within the same days starting the account if you grind hard enough.
Well, yeah, and also, I mean, if you joined in December and you got all those crystals and you didn't know what you're doing, there was people that were like, "Hey, I pulled a 6-star Spider Ham," and I'm like, "You have all 3 stars on your team and a 6-star Spider Ham."
Yep.
And this when I look at this, I go, "This is how you kind of mess up the game because now you're like setting this person up for failure." Like you do realize that the next 5 champions for this person could be Iron Fist and Iron Patriot, who is also horrible. Um, it's like, and then you might dupe Iron Patriot, and then you might get OG Iron Man. It's like that's why the game gets kind of frustrating for some people. But like you're saying, he opened up a 4-star hood, 5-star hood, and then instantly just clears content. I had my niece. I was like showing her the game. I was like, all right. I showed her how to use Proximal Midnight, and she's like, "Can I use any?" And I go, "No, just use her. You'll be fine." And next thing you know, she's like, "All right, finish Act 5." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, it's really easy." I'm like, "How? How did you do that so fast?" She's like, "Oh, well, I used Proximal for everybody, and then I got Iceman, and so I just used Iceman because you said I needed someone that was bleed and poison immune for Act 5." And I go, "Mm-hmm." And I go, "Who'd you use for Ultron?" She's like, um, I used I used Proximal." And I go, "How did you complete all the missions?" And she's like, "Well, I didn't complete the stun one." I'm like, "Wow, okay."
Oh, all you had to do is
she,
parry.
she said she waited
Yeah.
until he was in a
No.
different phase to do the stun one, and then
Yeah.
she did the ultimate. And I go, all right, so you can. She had pulled other champions.
Yeah.
I just told her to focus on proximal. So then after she beat Ultron, I was like, hey, so these other champions are actually really good. She's like, well, you told me to use proximal. And I go, well, you're a lot better now. That's why you use proximal, because she makes you better.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's awesome. And shout out to Zach Rossi for doing that little Proxima guide. That was pretty cool. You inspired that actually.
yeah, that's what he said.
So
I was like, I mean, and it's true. That's the thing. Like another champion that's kind of cool like that is, you know, Ronan, uh, the ninja Ronin. He kind of reminds you
yeah,
that you can difference between light and mediums, and things. Same thing with like Cosmic Ghost Rider. I just put up a video how I messed up, and I I fired my special before I activated my vigilance buff. Like I was just like, it's like sometimes it's like these champions that are newer, as long as they keep you engaged, it's going to improve your skills. You know the difference between ending the combo with a light attack, ending the combo with a medium attack, things like that. Proximal adds that to it. A couple other champions add that. It keeps it fun.
yeah, for sure. JX, you got anything else over there, bud?
Yeah, so we were talking about kind of like outdated champs. And I don't know if you saw the news today, but Contest Champions is giving away a 1/3 Deadpool statue worth about $1,275 to a lucky summoner on April 23rd, and which is really cool. Like, what are your thoughts about this? And obviously, the statue also has like it's got like its own guns that aren't in the game. So I'm kind of like wondering if there'll be anything for Deadpool this year.
If they could release a Deadpool, like not 4-star version, like come on, they already have Wolverine. If they're saying Deadpool is going to break the game, he's not. Wolverine didn't break. Well, he kind of broke variant, but I mean, he's not going to break the game. I'm reading this right now that you're saying, how do you enter this thing? Log in Friday.
Log in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What? That's it? You just
yeah.
turn
Okay.
on your
Log
phone?
in.
I hope like a bot account doesn't win or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, this statue's getting released, by the way, and there's like actually a ton of MCOC merch coming out. So I'm gonna share a picture of all the merch coming out this year.
That's really cool. I mean, I think those things are kind of
Yeah, I saw these statues. Those are super cool.
those are really cool. And I've been watching some of these other artists do things like that. Like a player got a really cool like sculpted thing of Cosmic Ghost Rider, and one of my friends got a really cool Warlock statue. His name's Jim on there.
Oh,
It's like I'm just
Moose.
like, and like CT had a guy do an orange ISO brick.
Oh, so this is all Moose stuff. He's a 3D printer,
Yeah.
and he's got his own
Yeah,
Patreon. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Moose's stuff is it's
Yeah, Moose
it
actually created this Discord.
it's like it's really cool. Like the stuff he does, and just seeing what I also like seeing is just seeing all the people that are like I mean, they're all about it. It reminds me of like in our community, it's like Cat Murdoch, who does all the really cool mashups and different things like that. It's like again, like I was saying earlier, find if this game has brought so many people together through gaming, social, business opportunities, art, sculpting. I mean, the creator, Cat Murdoch's doing so many different mashups now. I mean, I don't even know what they do for a regular job. This could be the job. I mean, every single week a new mashup. People are asking for special orders all the time. Keychains. Moose is doing these really detailed sculptures. Somebody, I don't know who did it, but someone just posted one about a Emma Frost. You know,
yeah, that was Moose as well.
Yeah, that
yeah, it's
was
just like
yeah.
it's just there's all these cool things that are coming out, and
This is the stuff that Moose did right here.
And again, that's only possible because of Kabam doing this, teaming up with Marvel to do these games. Yeah, that's it right there.
Oh, you got a blue one. That's cool.
Oh, that's not mine.
That's
That's
super good.
Moose just made that
Oh,
today.
oh, he does. Oh, that's
Yeah.
super cool.
I don't know if
Got him
it'll.
in form.
Yeah, they look sick.
Those are
I mean,
nice.
I mean, look at our buddy Slayer's profile pic. I mean, that's got Cat Murdoch all over it. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember she said that she enjoyed doing the chains. I'm not sure if it's a Cat's he or she, but Cat did yeah. That's just there. Look at that. I mean, you can see the picture now.
Yeah.
That's just.
Yeah, I just I just ordered some Aegon keychain and a sticker from her Etsy shop. So
If you look in the picture that I posted there, you'll see a little Doom keychain in there that I got from Cat. So that's, I mean,
Oh,
I
I see the
support all
Doom.
of the artists. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that Warlock
Um,
one. One of my friends. He's a painter. He painted it. He
I've seen
went
that.
through with like
Mango.
acrylics
Yeah,
and
yeah,
did all the
dude,
crazy
super sick.
details, and I was like, dang man, you guys have some skills. It's it's always good to watch everyone do their magic.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Jax, you got anything else over there?
That's it, man. That was my last question.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, Jay does cool art too. Um, he makes cool designs on buffs and shit. So
Appreciate it, man.
yeah. Well, if that's about it, I think we're gonna wrap it up. Seahawk12man, thank you, Elston, for coming by. Oh yeah, there you go. There's the maestro. That's super cool.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
also did. I didn't go far enough into his thing about the Warlock, but on his page he's done all, he's gotten them and then he's detailed them and they look awesome.
Yeah, I want to do that too.
Same.
But
That'd
yeah.
be super. But yeah, dude, thank you for coming by and hanging out with me and Jay this fine young Saturday night. um, Jay, you guys, everybody in chat, Elston, have a good night.
All right, thanks for